Back at it. Good to see you. Happy Tuesday, second day of June 2020. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host, as we return for another day of whatever's going to happen. First of all, we got a very nice day today weather-wise. Yesterday at this time, they were predicting some increasing clouds, slightly warmer temperatures, maybe even a raindrop. They backed off that a little bit. There was a weak weather system that was supposed to pay us a visit later on today. It's kind of petered out. It's in the Bellingham area, and by the time it works its way over the lee of the Cascades, it ain't going to do much. So we're looking for a very nice day, very mild and pleasant, not only today, but tomorrow, right into Thursday. Wouldn't you know it, just in time for the weekend, the first weekend in June. We're going to have a slow-moving weather system going to pay us a visit just in time for the weekend, going to cool us down and cloud it up. We'll get to those details here in just a little bit. A lot of news to get to. I live pretty close to downtown, and yesterday's protests seemed pretty peaceful to me. Certainly got the word out. A couple hundred people gathered at Memorial Park, about a block and a half from our studios, did a little march around, did their thing. It was, all things considered, quite peaceful. We'll have talk about that and some more COVID-related stuff, some of it legal when we get to the news here in just a couple minutes. Sports world is reacting to what has been a difficult week for a lot of people, including Bobby Wagner of the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks themselves issued a statement yesterday. Russell Wilson, Mark Few, head basketball coach at Gonzaga. We got quite a bit of sports to get to. Looks like we may have hockey again. It's kind of funny. I was just thinking about this the other day. In fact, I went and looked it up. This is the second day of June. This week was supposed to have been the NBA Finals. The Stanley Cup Finals were supposed to be going on. Golf tournaments were supposed to be going on. It's just strange not having events happening. Of course, the biggest event of all this week, commencement exercises, which will be done virtually. And we want to thank all of the school districts who decided to participate in our offer. So we'll have Eastmont's virtual graduation ceremony on Friday night. We'll have Wenatchee's on Friday night. We'll be broadcasting virtual graduation ceremonies for Westside High School, for Cashmere High School, for Quincy High School. We'll be doing that as we head into commencement week this week for the class of 2020. Lots to get to. Let's go ahead and take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras. So we're looking at this morning on this Tuesday. Things should be looking pretty good, and they're looking pretty good. All of these views, of course, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless setup, which means you can have screaming fast internet to your home and you don't need fiber. Although not all of these cameras are actually on Sky-Fi towers, most of them are, as you might imagine, including that one, the Cross camera, located adjacent to the Cross at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights. It is a stunningly beautiful view. It's probably everybody's favorite because you can see the entire valley from there. Being there in person is really cool. That's a neat view with the naked eye, but it looks pretty good to me with the high-definition camera. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley. It's 50 degrees outside of our studios as we speak. We had 76 yesterday, our normal high on June 1st will be 75, so it's just about normal. Sunrise this morning happened at 5:07, about an hour ago. Sunset tonight, 8:51, 15 hours, 44 minutes of daylight. Camera number 2. Where are we off to, Megan? It's Megan's choice. Oh, that's up to the Two Rivers camera, I believe. Is that correct? To Lake Wenatchee we go, the Two Rivers camera. I don't know why they call it the Two Rivers camera. I know there's the White River, which flows into the top of Lake Wenatchee. I don't know what the other river may be. Anyway, that's on a super high tower overlooking the Lake Wenatchee area. So Dirty Face Mountain is to your left. The south shore of Lake Wenatchee is to your right, whereas Camp Zanikalachi is. The YMCA camp to your left, and of course the state park way off in the distance. You can't see it. You got to squint. Even if you squint, you can't see it. Seems to have a few more high clouds there. The clouds will be dissipating as the day goes on. Camera number 3. I love saying dissipating, one of my favorite words. Well, what have we here? Is that the Waterville camera? It's either Upper Butte or Lower Butte, so it's up to Chelan we go, but we're looking over to the Waterville Plateau. Good stuff there. I think that's probably the Upper Butte. That's Upper Butte, yeah. So that's basically Lake Chelan, but what you're looking at across the river there, the Columbia River's down there, excuse me, and then we're seeing the Waterville Plateau. Again, these are PTZ cameras, pan, tilt, zoom, and we can do that. That's just really, really cool. Way off in the distance is Mission Ridge. So that's the Upper Butte camera. So if you turned at about 180 degrees, you would be able to see Lake Chelan. That's cool view. We need to do that one more often. Camera number 4. It's a visit to off to Monument Hill. That's Steve and Lynette's, of course, summer home, as you know by now. They like to dry camp. You know, they don't like the running water or the electricity. They like to rough it. That's out there in Quincy. I've been playing Clockham Ridge, the golf course out there, quite a bit. Starting to mature, getting better and better. Trees are starting to grow. Clockham Ridge, when they first opened it, is where your swing went to die because it was just wide open. You know, you could be 2 fairways over and still have a shot in. Now that the trees are beginning to grow and to make themselves more prevalent and starting to define the fairways a little bit, I have found myself in tree trouble. I found myself in tree trouble a lot on Friday at the Clockham Ridge Golf Course. They're good people out there, by the way, and they do a really good job. I believe the Clockham Ridge Golf Course is run by the Port of Quincy, and they do good work there. All right, good stuff, good tour around north central Washington and obviously out of the Columbia Basin as we roll on down the road at 7 minutes after the hour. Got one slide to show for you. Was it a wet May? Yeah, it was a wet May, but we're still in a drought. Here's your May 2020 precipitation, what we're looking at. Spokane had a lot of rain in the month of May. Spokane had more rain on May 31st, last Sunday, than Wenatchee had for the entire month. As you can see, we had 0.80 inches of rain, so not quite an inch of rain, which was wetter than normal for us here in the Wenatchee Valley, but it was nowhere near our wettest May ever. And despite the fact it was a wetter than normal May, we are still in a drought. The amount of rain that we have had since January 1st is 2.5 inches, 2.50 inches of rain. That's what we've had since the beginning of the new year. Normally at this time, from January 1st to today, we would have 3.38 inches of rain. So we're down 1.18 inches of rain. And since October 1st, and that's where they define the rainy season, October 1st to September 30th, since October 1st, we've had 3.38 inches of rain in the Wenatchee Valley. Normally we would have 6.63 inches of rain. We are almost 3 inches behind where we should be, measurable precipitation-wise. So even though we had a wetter than normal May, we are still technically in a drought. So we thought we'd throw that up there now that May is in the books. Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling gives your home a hug. Let's take a look at what we got in store. And again, they've changed the forecast. They were thinking increasing clouds today. Now they're thinking, no, wait a minute. I'm going to have sunshine. It's also going to be warmer, right around 82 or 83, as I mentioned before. It was 76 yesterday. Light and variable wind, a little breezy at times, about 8 to 10 miles an hour. Northwest wind today. And again, high of about 83. We'll take that. Partly cloudy tonight, 51 for the overnight low. A little windy at times. Northwest wind about 9 to 17 miles an hour. Really not a lot to talk about for Wednesday. Quite a bit of sunshine, high of 81 degrees, very little wind, about around 81, 82. 52 for the overnight low Wednesday night. Thursday, sunshine again. High right around 81 degrees. Northwest wind about 5 to 10 miles an hour. That's very pleasant weather. Sunny, warm, but not hot. 53 for the overnight low on Thursday. And wouldn't you know it, just in time for Friday, here comes a slow-moving weather system. This is going to give us some, maybe a little bit of moisture, certainly clouds, and certainly cooler weather. We're looking at a high of 82 with increasing clouds throughout the course of the day on Friday. 54 for the overnight low. Saturday, partly cloudy, about a 40% chance of rain. We'll top off at 73 degrees. Sunday, cooler still. Only 70. That's chilly for deeper and deeper into June, and a chance of rain on Sunday as well. Partly cloudy but dry next Monday. So beautiful day today, Wednesday, Thursday. Clouds start making their presence felt on Friday. We're going to cloud up, we're going to cool down, maybe get a little bit of rain on Saturday and Sunday, just in time for the weekend. Well, you can't have it all. Where would you put it? Do you need to rent a storage unit, right? 10 minutes after the hour, going to take a break and come back with your Tuesday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi there. It's Les Schwab Alignment and Brakes and Shocks and Wheels and Tires. Now, some tire places don't offer all that, but we do to help keep you and your family safe. And during our Ready for Summer tire sale, save up to $110 on a set of 4 select tires. We're open, so stop on by or book an appointment at leschwab.com. Les Schwab Tires. Doing the right thing matters.
Opioids are now one of the leading causes of injury-related deaths in Washington state. More people die from overdose than from car crashes. Between 2012 and 2016, more than 3,300 lives in Washington were lost to opioid overdose. We are all part of the solution. Your choices matter. If you are prescribed an opioid pain medication, talk with your doctor about other options, and don't share your prescriptions with other people. It starts with you. Learn more at getthefactsrx.com.
11 minutes after the hour, clear skies, 51. Well, we have a few high clouds anyway, and 51 degrees. Outside of our studios, we'll warm up another 30 degrees before this day is over, right around 81 or 82 with quite a bit of sunshine for the next 3 days, as a matter of fact, before we cloud up, cool down, get a little wet over the weekend. And at 11 minutes after the hour, here's what's making headlines. We start out with the Douglas County Commissioners, who have withdrawn one lawsuit to overturn Governor Inslee's stay-home orders, and the Wenatchee City Council member who was a plaintiff in the Chelan County suit is no longer a plaintiff in that one. The Douglas County case kind of fell apart after a judge on Friday questioned the presence of Commissioners Dan Sutton and Mark Straub as plaintiffs. Both of them serve on the Chelan-Douglas Health District Board. And in Chelan County Court, Wenatchee Council member Ruth Esparza withdrew from a similar lawsuit there for the same reasons. She's also a member of the Chelan-Douglas Health District Board. So where are we on all this? Judge Kristen Ferreira set the next hearing for Wednesday. Now, attorneys for the state of Washington say they want the case to be heard in Thurston County if it's not dismissed altogether. Plaintiffs, including 3 other city council members, Linda Harold, Jose Luis Cuervas, and Travis Hornsby, they say Inslee's public health orders have overstepped his authority and needlessly damaged the local economy. By the way, the latest to join the case, Windmill restaurant owner Kevin Smith, whose attempt to reopen last week, despite the emergency order, was cut short by state liquor inspectors. Where are we in all this? Well, Chelan and Douglas counties still a long way from reaching the new standards for moving from Phase 1 to Phase 1.5 under Governor Jay Inslee's Safe Start reopening plan. But the latest numbers show both counties moving in the right direction. Inslee on Friday loosened testing standards from no more than 10 positive COVID-19 tests per 100,000 residents over the past 3 weeks to no more than 25 positive tests. In numbers released Monday by the Chelan-Douglas Health District, Chelan had 94.6 cases per 100,000 over the past 3 weeks. Douglas County, 96.7 positive tests per 100,000 residents over the last 3 weeks. But in the last 7 days, Chelan County was at 24.6 cases per 100,000, and Douglas County 27.4 cases per 100,000. Chelan County has had 255 confirmed cases of coronavirus. Douglas County 173. In his latest reopening plan, the governor did say the Secretary of Health has the discretion to change any part of the modified Phase 1 plan. Well, with cities across this country up in arms over the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis, when police took him into custody and he later died, of course, Wenatchee Valley activists taking to the streets over the weekend and then again last night for peaceful demonstrations. This is from Saturday with marchers rallying at Memorial Park and waving signs along Chelan Avenue. No incidents reported other than some scattered graffiti around the Wenatchee and East Wenatchee area. Demonstrators, for the most part, were quiet. They had a follow-up vigil last night. A couple of hundred people attended that. We will have more on that story, last night's demonstration at Memorial Park, for the news tonight at 5 o'clock with Grant Olson. The search for that murder suspect in the Mineral Springs area of Blewett Pass continues. Authorities are convinced 34-year-old Jorge Alcantara Gonzalez is still in the area. Jim Beadle is the public information officer for the Kittitas County Sheriff's Office. He said searchers have found indications he's still around. Numerous local, state, and federal agencies have been searching for Alcantara Gonzalez since May 23rd after he was seen with the vehicle of 41-year-old Ian Eccles, a Kent man who had gone missing while on his way to a turkey hunt in Liberty back on May 16th. Evidence in Eccles' vehicle indicates he had been killed, the sheriff's office said. Last Friday, law enforcement officers spotted Alcantara Gonzalez last Tuesday at the Mineral Springs campground. He fled on foot. The Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest Service shut down a large portion of the forest over the weekend as the manhunt continued. Beadle said there have been as many as 100 searchers at any one time in the woods, usually about 30 or so. Law enforcement has used a helicopter, drones, canines, and dozens of officers, both on foot or riding ATVs. Wenatchee's 4th of July fireworks display will go on this year as planned, but a big gathering at Walla Walla Point Park, not going to happen this year. The Independence Day Celebration Committee announcing last week that the professional fireworks display and the accompanying music will begin at 10 o'clock on Independence Day. It will be broadcast here on the NCW Live channel with audio provided by our friends at Coho Radio. Individual fireworks, of course, are banned in the city of Wenatchee. Speaking of fire, a county-wide burn ban is in place now through the end of summer. The ban is written by the Chelan County Commissioners, covers all of Chelan County. Several other counties have also implemented similar burn bans. What does that mean? The burn ban, well, it does not affect cooking and recreational fires, but they got to be under 36 inches in diameter and no more than 24 inches tall. Fires must be in approved rings or burning devices. All fires must have somebody on site at the fire until it is cold and out. Water and shovels must be on site, ready to use. The fire season, of course, is already showing signs of being very active. And when burning, you want to be careful with fire. Don't burn in days where winds may carry hot ash embers. Makes common sense to me. With the COVID-19 pandemic having hit Hispanics in the state and the Wenatchee Valley the hardest, there's been a scramble for answers. Gustavo Montoya is the former publisher of the Spanish-language newspaper El Mundo here in Wenatchee, and he appeared on Street Talk and Other Stuff with our friend Mike Mignotti yesterday to discuss potential reasons for the high number of COVID-19 positive tests among Hispanics.
And all of the workers in the ag industry are essential workers, not to mention the many other essential workers that we have in restaurants, construction, other type of services, whether it's cleaning. So these are the essential workers that are already constantly working since that have not stopped. And they are the ones who are mostly exposed, which probably can explain the numbers. We also have to understand who they are, who we are. And I think as a Hispanic origin person, well, you know how Hispanics are. We are affectionate. We like, when we are greeting somebody, we literally go out and hug.
Yeah, you're like Italians,
Exactly.
You're family oriented. Give me a hug. Come on.
That's right. So
I kiss my brothers on the cheek, and people go, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "I'm Italian. There's nothing wrong with me."
It is true, and among Spanish people, they actually kiss both cheeks, as you may know from folks in Europe. So these are traditional, cultural habits that we have that are just natural to us.
Right.
And so that's hard to break. You have that natural dissonance that, I want to say hello, but I'm going to offend somebody.
Yeah, it's difficult because you want to get together, so, and that's just the culture. So
the culture. And then the other concern for me, I think, is that, among Hispanics, we live for almost 5 generations, in one household.
Yeah, right.
So that essential worker that is out there that may get exposed, well, is coming home and is, connecting with all these other family members that are of all different ages.
Finally, on this Tuesday morning, of course, as we mentioned before, this is supposed to be commencement week at Wenatchee High School. The seniors, unfortunately, are missing out on all the really cool things that commencement week means because of COVID-19. But here's a cool tribute for the class of 2020 Wenatchee High School. Every graduating senior had his or her name painted in spray can art on the front lawn on the campus of Wenatchee High School. Spokane teacher and artist Tom Petoello worked his magic there with help from assistant Carol McQuaid after creating a similar project for seniors in his hometown of Spokane. Wenatchee High principal Eric Anderson helped arrange the artistic endeavor. That's pretty darn cool. And that's a look at what's making headlines on this busy Tuesday. We'll be at it again today with more news to come your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Some of us working here in the broadcast metroplex, others working remotely from home as we continue to practice safe social distancing. But we still have a newscast for you because we think it's important. With the preview, here's Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, the latest on last night's demonstration and protest in Wenatchee. I'll have your warming North Central Washington weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will have a look at all the day's sports. That and all the day's news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. You want to drop us a note and give us a news tip? We'd love to hear from you. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com is our email address. You can also go to our Facebook page, and use Facebook Messenger and send us a note that way if you want. If you go to our website, ncwlife.com, we recommend that you do so. Bookmark it and come visit it on a regular basis because we're populating our website on a regular basis. Drop us a note on our website by going to the Contact Us icon at the top of the page. We are going to take a break, and we're going to hear from the ever-widening world of sports, specifically members of the Seahawks and the Seahawks themselves. On the violence currently besetting America. We'll talk about that when we come back in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Hi, my name is Manuel Navarro, Chief Operating Officer at Columbia Valley Community Health. Patient safety is our top priority, including providing care that just can't wait. With enhanced safety precautions, we want to ensure you that we're able to continue providing safe and efficient in-person care at our clinic. From in-car check-in, ongoing screening, immediate rooming, your family can get the safe care that they deserve here at Columbia Valley Community Health.
Hi, I'm Chelan County Commissioner Kevin Overbay. I urge all of you to stay home, stay healthy, and stay safe. You can help our community out by urging your friends and relatives from other parts of the Northwest to please stay home. We have a beautiful county with places that people like to visit, but their visits are putting a strain on our resources, our first responders, and our health professionals. Please help us get the message out. We love visitors, but wait until we've gotten through the coronavirus pandemic to come see us. I know that this community will do all that they can to help us get through the coronavirus. Thank you, and be well.
22 minutes after the hour in this Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz. The senseless death of the African American in Minneapolis at the hands of a white police officer has been felt throughout the country, including the sports community. The Seahawks put out a statement yesterday supporting the goal of equality and togetherness. We have that statement for you. It reads in part, and I'm quoting now, "The Seahawks family is dismayed by the unacceptable acts of violence that occurred against George Floyd last week in Minneapolis and grieve that loss, along with countless others, in a similar manner, including, most recently, Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. Our heartfelt condolences are extended to their families and every other family that has had to endure the pain from similar atrocities. These biased actions are systematic and have plagued our society for generations and have culminated to the current state of unrest we are experiencing. The Seahawks are guided by overall principles of acceptance and understanding that help us create a culture of respect, equality, and inclusiveness both on and off the field. We, as an organization and as individuals, represent and respect a wide range of human differences, personal experiences, and cultural backgrounds. We stand with Seattle and every community in uniting to help heal our society and overcome the hurt, anger, and frustration through peaceful protests and acts of togetherness." End quote. The organization went another step yesterday in saying it will provide recipients with grants from the Seahawks Players Equality and Justice for All Action Fund in the amount of $500,000. Coach Pete Carroll took significant time in a team video conference to allow players to express themselves and their feelings and their experiences about what's going on in the country. Bobby Wagner began his Monday press conference by inviting the media involved to tell the story of the Black experience in America.
You know, over the years, we have always talked to you about, you guys being able to control the narrative and say what's really going on. And so, I feel like a lot of focus is on, the rioting, the looting, the people stealing stuff. But we're not talking enough about what started that. I think the Black community is tired of seeing the same things going on and not seeing the change. And, I think we're tired of seeing people not being held accountable for the actions that they do, but understanding if we were in that position, we will be held accountable. And so, I challenge everybody on this call to do your part and report the media and report the message and what it really is. And we're tired of seeing Black people getting killed. You know what I'm saying? I'm having conversations with people and, somebody said, man, you know what? I'm afraid to have a child. I'm afraid to have a black child because I don't know how they're gonna be treated in this world based off their skin color. That's not something that that's not a position anybody should be in.
L.J. Collier said he understands the anger and frustration in the black community.
It's upsetting just to see what those people are going through, the way that they have to. That's what they have to resort to just to get be heard, just to be seen. And like, just at what point does people have to continue to be killed just for somebody to understand what being black is like? Just what we go through every day, just the fear that being pulled over, you don't know what's going to happen, or just like nobody wants to live with that. And just the rioting is just a point of like, what do we have to do for you to hear us? And like, it's just a sad thing, and I wish it was handled better. And I feel like this should open some doors to help people understand what's going on in this world, how people of color are being oppressed.
Dwayne Brown met with reporters just a couple of days after the death of Floyd and was saddened by the senseless taking of a life.
Just an awful situation that could have been prevented. I feel like, someone called the cops on him for potentially writing a bad check, and he ended up dying on camera, with unarmed and handcuffs, and so I mean, it seems like things like this continue to happen every year at some point. I don't know when it'll change, but it's sad, man. It's sad, and
Russell Wilson posted a lengthy response on Twitter yesterday, saying in part, and we have this for you here, "We cannot continue to ignore racism as though it has ended or never happened. The continual violence inflicted upon blacks and people of color must stop. We need to change now. We need love. We need compassion. We need grace and forgiveness, even in the midst of pain." Those involved in athletics across Eastern Washington also speaking out against racism and the death of George Floyd. Washington State Athletic Director Pat Chun issued a statement. I'm quoting now. 50 years ago, my parents immigrated to the United States from South Korea, filled with promises and ideals of the American dream. Unbeknownst to them, the hope of the American dream that brought them to a new land was filled with historical, systemic inequities, injustices, and gross social disparities. Unfortunately, for our country, there are countless examples of oppression that still exist today, specifically against our African American communities, and this is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Gonzaga basketball coach Mark Few issued this statement. Growing up the son of a minister and in a Christian family, I was taught and modeled that every person on this earth is equal and should be treated the same no matter their race, color of skin, gender, or socioeconomic status. Actions are more important than words. Myself and our program will continue to be an active part of enacting change locally, regionally, and nationally. Again, from Mark Few. Washington State basketball player Isaac Brown said this: "As long as we can breathe, we should not be silent." And that goes for everybody. Amen. One more item. Hockey. The BCHL moving forward with plans for a hockey schedule this fall. They had a press release that came out yesterday. The Hockey League's executive director, his name is Stephen Cocker, and he said the BCHL is fully planning on playing this fall as soon as we receive approval from Hockey Canada and health authorities. An important element for hockey to remain on schedule was the opening of the Hockey Canada Registry, or the HCR, and that's open now. That means that the Canadian junior hockey teams will be allowed to start making acquisitions and build their rosters up for the upcoming season. Earlier in May, the BCHL created the Return to Play Task Force, which is responsible for outlining several scenarios on how and when the league can resume its schedule. We're hoping to speak with officials at the Wenatchee Wild on their plans for the upcoming season sometime soon, like this week. And that's a look at sports. At the bottom of the hour on this second day of June, I had I'm sorry? Megan said something in my ear. I wasn't paying attention. My brain is not here today. We have four obscure holidays. Today is National Rotisserie Chicken Day. Today is National Rocky Road Day. Today is National Bubba Day. But no, today is National Leave the Office Early Day. So I'm out of here. I can't leave. I got a show to do. Megan says I should just go. So, fine. All right. Have a good show, everybody. Wait a minute. The people who sign my paycheck may be watching Megan. I think I better come back. Yeah, leave the office. Just take off. Get out of here. Well, we work hard. We work really hard. This is insane. About a third of all Americans who are working anyway work more than 40 hours a week. Some work a lot more than 40 hours a week. If you're self-employed, you average about 60 hours a week. If you have two jobs, you average about 80 hours a week. I mean, how do you find time for living a life like that? The average American works about 49 hours a week. And you add it all up over the course of a year, the average American works about 350 more hours per year than most Europeans. And of course, the detrimental aspects of that are manyfold. For one thing, you don't have much of a life anymore. And the bottom line is, if you work too long, your productivity doesn't happen. So today is a good day to take off a little early. Tell them I said it was okay. Well, now I'm going to get you in trouble. Take a little time off for yourself. Today is National Leave the Office Early Day. Of course, if you're hourly, you're going to get caught. 32 minutes after the hour. We're all familiar with the classic story of the Trojan horse sneaking into the fort with the army inside the horse, the surprise attack. On this day back in 1763, 257 years ago, it was June 2nd, in what is now Mackinac City, which is right near Detroit, the Chippewa Indian tribe captured, and I want to get this right, Fort Michilimackinac. The garrison's attention was diverted because they were playing lacrosse. Now, they would play lacrosse against other native tribes, and the soldiers used to love to watch the natives play lacrosse. And sure enough, they were up there in their garrison watching the Indians play against each other in a little lacrosse. One of them, on purpose, hit the ball into the fort. When they went to go get the ball in the fort, they were given weapons that a Native American woman had smuggled into the fort, and they turned around and killed about 15 of the 35-man garrison in the struggle. Yeah, they diverted their attention by playing lacrosse and then snuck into the fort. Pretty clever, 257 years ago today. 3 significant baseball items today. You see that there. Radical shift by Huggins. It was June 2nd, 1925. It was 95 years ago today. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. After New York Yankees first baseman Wally Pipp arrived at the clubhouse at Yankee Stadium before a game against the Washington Senators, he allegedly was complaining of a headache. Manager Miller Huggins of the Yankees said, "Wally, I'm going to give you the day off. Gehrig, you're in. Gehrig for Pipp. You're going to start at first base today, Lou." Of course, Lou Gehrig would play every game for the next 14 years. Wally Pipp was traded to the Reds at the end of the year. There's a couple of urban legends about this. Number one, yeah, did Wally Pipp have a headache? Yeah. But the bottom line is the Yankees were playing just terrible in the summer of 25. They were not playing very good baseball. Miller Huggins was more than really trying to just shake up his lineup. And he figured by putting the rookie, the youngster Gehrig in for Wally Pipp, the veteran, maybe that'd shake things up and get Wally to play better. And to Wally Pipp's defense, even though he never started another game for the New York Yankees, he took Lou Gehrig under his wing. Nobody was doubted that Lou Gehrig could just belt a baseball like anybody had ever seen before. But he was pretty weak defensively. And so Wally Pipp would take some time each and every day to teach the guy who took his job how to play first base from a defensive standpoint. So he gets kudos. Lou Gehrig broke into the starting lineup. And of course, it brings up to the famous, don't get Wally Pipped, which means if you take the day off, you may be replaced by somebody better than you. Speaking of baseball legends, for the Babe, it was all over. 85 years ago today, June 2nd, 1935, Babe Ruth was, of course, now playing with the Boston Braves. He's having a terrible year. He was batting 181. He was fat and 40 and tired and wanted out. Babe Ruth announced his retirement from baseball on June 2nd, 1935. He retired with 714 home runs, by far, at that time, the most in Major League history. Second place, by the way, on the list of all-time home run hitters on the day Babe Ruth retired was Lou Gehrig with 378. Babe Ruth hung up his cleats 85 years ago today. And good news, June 2nd, 1990, this is the 30th anniversary of the first no-hitter in Seattle Mariners history after 2,101 games. Randy Johnson, no hits. The Detroit Tigers.
The 0-2 pitch on the way. Swing! It's over! He has done it! High fastball, Randy Johnson being mobbed by Scott Bradley down to greet him and the entire Mariner team. Here on the 2nd of June, it ends at 9:51 Pacific Daylight Time. Randy Johnson with the first Mariner no-hitter in history, and they are going crazy. Everybody saluting the tallest man to ever put on a uniform in the history of baseball. Randy Johnson has done it. He has no-hit the Detroit Tigers tonight 2-0. My, oh my.
I remember that well. I was up at our family cabin at Lake Wenatchee listening to that game on that Friday night. By the way, Randy Johnson struck out 8. He walked 6. He was still pretty wild back in those days. 30th anniversary of Randy Johnson's no-hitter. Let's do some birthdays. I know it's only rock and roll, but I like it. One of the greatest drummers of all time, Charlie Watts. The drummer for the Rolling Stones, 79 years old today. You would think being the drummer of the Rolling Stones for the last 57 years would have led to certain, I don't know, indiscretions on the road. No. Charlie Watts has been married to his wife Shirley for 55 years. They have a daughter and a grandchild. He said, I just don't do that on tour. He's very apathetic about touring. He says, I just don't much care for it. And besides, I'm 79 years old. I shouldn't be out on the road anymore. One of the greatest drummers of all time, Charlie Watts, is 79. This will blow you away. Beaver Cleaver is 72. Jerry Mathers is 72 years old today. I don't know if you remember, but back in the 1990s, Jerry Mathers was the Grand Marshal of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival Parade. He was in the big city here. It was really cool. Jerry Mathers in town. Didn't get to meet him, though. Happy 72nd birthday, Jerry Mathers, a.k.a. Beaver Cleaver. And one of my favorite comedians, Dana Carvey. This guy needs to work more often. One of the greatest impersonators of all time. Long career with Saturday Night Live, the late lamented Dana Carvey show. Dana Carvey, 65 years old today. Gonna take a break. Mike McNally's got an opinion. I wonder what this one's about. We'll find out together in a couple of minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We will do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
JDSA Law is a proud sponsor of these local sports broadcasts. They've been serving North Central and Eastern Washington since 1946. For over 70 years, their team of dedicated professionals has delivered quality, innovative legal services. JDSA Law partners with you to provide the finest legal advice and support as you navigate your personal and business challenges, risks, and accomplishments. At JDSA Law, they salute our local athletes and wish them well on another excellent season of competition.
No calories, no sweeteners, all smiles. Bubbly, sparkling water. Crack a smile.
My name is Anaisa Lemus, and I teach at John Newberry Elementary. I had a tooth in the front that was just always causing me problems. It was just happening so regularly. I went to go get a root canal done, And the root canal didn't help a whole lot because when it came back, both of my parents went to Dr. Divis's office. They really recommended him because he had done such a great job on their teeth. I went and really have had a really pleasant experience with him. He just made me feel really at ease with everything. He was really confident with what he was doing. He said, you know, this is one of his favorite parts of his job, which really made it easier for me because, you know, when you're really passionate about something, you know, they're going to do a good job. As a teacher, my students, you know, I'll tell them randomly sometimes, oh yeah, with my fake tooth. They're always so shocked. Like, what? It looks like your real tooth. And I'm really happy with the results now.
This is Dr. John Divis. Please call us today.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, Amazon, the mega giant consumer retail business that's literally changing our society. Now, some people hate that beast. Now, Amazon is supposedly driving up housing costs in Seattle, paying people slave wages, yada, 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 yada. Yeah, well, maybe they are doing that, but you have to admit, being able to find exactly what you want from the privacy of your own home and have it delivered in a day or two, that sure beats driving all over town looking for something that possibly no retailer even has in stock. And quite frankly, the deteriorating customer service that is rampant in some retail businesses may be a big part of the reason why Amazon is so popular. This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
The two hottest pickups in America are at Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. First, the Ram 1500 with back-to-back Truck of the Year awards from Motor Trend, and now the Car and Driver 10 Best list for 2020. They call it a luxury sedan with pickup capabilities. Ram is on a roll now with third-generation EcoDiesel power. Next up, the Jeep Gladiator, also a 2020 10 Best model based on the new award-winning Jeep Wrangler. It has options and capabilities that no other truck can offer. Two more reasons when it comes to buying a truck: there's no reason to leave town.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
It's been a year like no other, but we won't let our high school seniors leave without a chance to honor them in the way they've earned. NCW Life Channel is proud to bring you the virtual graduations of Wenatchee, Eastmont, Cashmere, and Westside High Schools. Thanks to the support from August Edge, get the edge on real estate. Harvest Valley Pest Control, your guide to a pest-free life. Columbia Valley Community Health, your partner in achieving optimal health. See our broadcast schedule at ncwlife.com.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
And we are back here at Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee. Clear skies, 55 degrees, lower 80s today and tomorrow and Thursday with bountiful sunshine. We'll take one more look at that weather forecast in depth before we wrap the show up at the top of the hour. But first, a recap of what's making headlines on this Tuesday. Douglas County Commissioners have withdrawn one lawsuit to overturn Governor Inslee's stay-at-home orders, and a Wenatchee City Council member is no longer a plaintiff in the other lawsuit. The Douglas County case dissolved after a judge Friday questioned the presence of Commissioners Dan Sutton and Mark Straub as plaintiffs, since they are also serving on the Chelan-Douglas Health District Board. In Chelan County Court, Wenatchee City Council member Ruth Esparza withdrew from a similar lawsuit for the same reasons. She represents the city of Wenatchee on the Chelan-Douglas Health District Board. Judge Kristen Ferreira set the next hearing for Wednesday now. Attorneys for the state, of course, say they want the case to be heard in Thurston County if it's not dismissed altogether. Plaintiffs, including 3 other Wenatchee City Council members, Linda Harold, Jose Luis Cuevas, and Travis Hornsby, say Inslee's public health orders have overstepped his authority and needlessly damaged the local economy. The latest to join the case, Windmill restaurant owner Kevin Smith, whose attempt to reopen last week, despite the emergency order, was cut short by state liquor control members. Chelan and Douglas counties are still a long way from reaching the new standards for moving from Phase 1 to the newly created Phase 1.5 under Governor Jay Inslee's Safe Start reopening plan. But the latest numbers show both counties moving in the right direction. Inslee on Friday loosened testing standards from no more than 10 positive COVID-19 tests per 100,000 residents over the past 3 weeks to no more than 25 positive tests. And numbers released yesterday by the Chelan-Douglas Health District, Chelan County had 94.6 cases per 100,000 over the past 3 weeks. Douglas County, 96.7 positive cases per 100,000 residents over the last 3 weeks. But in the last 7 days, Chelan County was at 24.6 cases per 100,000, and Douglas County, 27.4 cases per 100,000. Chelan County has had 255 confirmed cases of coronavirus. Douglas County, 173. Now, in his latest reopening plan, Inslee did say the Secretary of Health has the discretion to change any part of the modified Phase 1 plan. With cities across the country protesting, many violently, over the death of George Floyd on Memorial Day at the hands of Minneapolis police, Wenatchee Valley activists took to the streets over the weekend and again last night for peaceful demonstrations. This footage and photos that you see here from Saturday when marchers rallied at Memorial Park and waved signs along Chelan Avenue without any incident other than some scattered graffiti around the Wenatchee and East Wenatchee area. Demonstrations were quiet. A follow-up vigil held last night attracted the largest crowd so far. A couple hundred people gathered at Memorial Park near the Chelan County Courthouse. We'll have more on that with the evening news tonight with Grant Olson. Still can't find him. The search for that murder suspect in the Mineral Springs area, Blewett Pass, continuing. Authorities are convinced the 34-year-old Jorge Alcantara Gonzalez is still in the area. Jim Beadle is the public information officer for the Kittitas County Sheriff's Office. He said searchers have found indications that he's still in there somewhere. Numerous local, state, and federal agencies have been searching for Alcantara Gonzalez since May 23rd. That's after he was seen with the vehicle of 41-year-old Ian Eccles, a Kent man who had gone missing while on his way to a turkey hunt in Liberty back on May 16th. Evidence in Eccles' vehicle indicated he had been killed, the sheriff's office said last Friday. Now, law enforcement officers spotted Alcantara Gonzalez last Tuesday, a week ago, at the Mineral Springs campground. He fled on foot. The Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest Service shut down a large portion of the forest over the weekend. The manhunt continues. Beadle said there have been as many as 100 searchers at a time in the woods, with usually about 30 at any given time. Law enforcement has used helicopters, drones, canines, and dozens of officers, both on foot or riding ATVs. And that's a look at what's making news at 49 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break and wrap it up with that all-important weather forecast. It's coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The world around us is constantly changing. Major employers in North Central Washington have expressed a need for capable, qualified engineering technologists who can think critically and solve problems. And at Wenatchee Valley College, we listened. We are pleased to offer a Bachelor of Applied Science Engineering Technology degree to provide you with a world of new opportunities. Your time is now. The future is waiting for you.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers one-bedroom apartments for one affordable price. Their rates are all-inclusive, no nickel or diming or sudden increases, just one set price. You or your loved one will receive good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Stop on by for a tour to see if the Epladolin family is the right choice for you.
Family-owned and operated Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Kashmir. Affordable care.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around north central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
And we are back. The clouds have thickened up in the hour or so that we've been on the air here for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're still sitting at 56 degrees. We're supposed to have quite a bit of sunshine over the next 3 days. We'll do complete forecast details in just a little bit. One more housekeeping item I wanted to pass along to you before I forget, because as we mentioned before, this is, well, supposed to have been commencement exercises this Friday for the two local high schools, the biggest local high schools, Wenatchee High School and Eastmont High School. As you know by now, there will be no formal commencement exercises. Eastmont's was supposed to be held this Friday night at 6 o'clock at the Town Toyota Center. Wenatchee High School's, as always, would have been Friday night at 8 o'clock at Leibofto Field at the Apple Bowl. But we're going to be broadcasting both of those commencement exercises in a virtual format at the time they would have actually taken place. So for you folks who want to watch the Eastmont High School commencement exercises, again, done virtually, I will have that for you at 6 o'clock on Friday night, and that'll be followed at 8 o'clock on Friday night by the commencement exercises virtually held for Wenatchee High School's class of 2020. I think for Wenatchee High School, it's the 117th commencement exercises. I can't remember off the top of my head. Basically, what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks, we've been having all of the student speakers, the faculty speakers, all of those people who would normally be speaking on the stage at either the Town Toyota Center or at Leibofto Field at the Apple Bowl to come in here on a podium, and we've been recording the various speeches for the commencement exercises. The schools themselves are going to be supplying us with the actual handing out of the diploma video. We're going to put the whole thing together. All of it is commercial free. All of it is commercial free thanks to our sponsors. We have like 25 sponsors. Thank you, sponsors, for making that happen. But no sponsors, we're not able to pull this off. And super special thanks to the 6 schools that have decided to participate and team up with us here at the NCW Life channel for virtual ceremonies. So Eastmont High Schools, again, will be at 6 o'clock this Friday, commercial free. That'll be followed at 8 o'clock by the commencement exercises of Wenatchee High School. On Saturday at 1 o'clock, it'll be the commencement exercises for Quincy High School's class of 2020. We'll have the commencement exercises for Cascade High School, Go Kodiaks, at 5 o'clock on Saturday, June 6th, and then Kashmir High School at 7 o'clock on Saturday, June 6th. So again, on Saturday, it's Quincy at 1, Cascade at 5, Kashmir at 7, and Westside High School, whose commencement exercises were supposed to be at the Wenatchee Convention Center on Thursday the 11th, will be held virtually on Thursday the 11th at 7 o'clock, but again, not at the Wenatchee Convention Center. So for Westside High School, 7 o'clock on Thursday, June 11th. So to recap, Eastmont is at 6 o'clock on Friday, Wenatchee's is at 8 o'clock on Friday. On Saturday the 6th, Quincy at 1 o'clock, Cascade at 5 o'clock, Cashmere at 7 o'clock. Westside High Schools will be Thursday, June 11th at 7 o'clock in the evening. And then we have a complete rebroadcast schedule for most of the month of June, all the way through June 21st. If you go to our website at ncwlife.com, you'll see the Class of 2020 icon. If you click on it, our broadcast schedule for the virtual commencement exercises are there for you, so you can watch it and wish the Class of 2020 the very best in their future endeavors. Wanted to get that, want to make sure I made that very plain to our viewers. All right, we're into June now, but boy, it was a wet May, but we need more rain. We need more rain. We really do. How did we do in the month of May? It was a wetter than normal May, now that May is a done deal, but we're still in a drought. I cannot believe that we are still in a drought. We have the graphic, I believe, for the rainfall for May. There it is. Oh yeah, let's do this first, then we'll do cameras around the valley. How's that sound, Megan? Since you have it up, because I wanted to mention this. As you can see, for the month of May, we got 0.80 inches of rain for the month of May. Now that is wetter than normal, as you can see, but it's not nearly as high as the wettest May we ever had, which was over 2 inches of rain back in May of 1998. So it was the 19th wettest May on record in the Wenatchee Valley, but we're still in a drought. Since January 1st, normally we would have, by this point in the year, 3.38 inches of measurable precipitation at Pangbourne Memorial Airport. We only have 2.50, so we only have 2.5 inches of measurable rain. And since October 1st of last year, this is the really alarming number, we should have, going all the way back to October, 6.63 inches of rain. Up to this date, we've only had 3.38 inches of rain, so we've had almost 3 inches less rainfall than we're supposed to be having. Even though it was a wet May, we are still in a drought. Wanted to throw that up there. All right, cameras around the valley. Let's do that. Let's see what we're looking at this morning. First of all, the cross camera. Again, the clouds have thickened up a little bit, but they're not supposed to last very long. It's supposed to be mild and dry today. I don't know whether there's a weak system to the north of us. I think it's just passing through. The forecast, to my knowledge, has not changed, so it's kind of cloudy as we look at the cross camera. I wonder what Lake Wenatchee is looking like this morning. We did the Two Rivers camera earlier. I'm sure we're going to do it again, see what's going on to the north of us. See what's going on to the north. There we go. There's the Two Rivers camera. Again, pretty thick clouds up in the Lake Wenatchee area. Is it skeeter time up there? It's usually pretty heavy-duty mosquito time up in the Lake Wenatchee area. I've gone fishing up at Fish Lake and was eaten alive on any number of occasions. I don't know. They like my blood, I guess. Good morning to our friends at Lake Wenatchee from the Two Rivers camera. Camera 3, I believe we're going to go back up to the Butte. Yep, that's just a great view. I'm really into that. That's the upper Butte, so that's the very top of one of the highest hills on the south shore of Lake Chelan, but we've turned that about 180 degrees, so what you're actually looking at is the Waterville Plateau. Columbia River's down there, of course. As you might imagine, look at the orchards doing their thing. Wenatchee way off in the distance. You can see the Mission Ridge area, but that's a really cool view. So it's all the way up to Lake Chelan, but we're looking almost exactly south instead of turning the camera around and looking at Lake Chelan proper. That's a cool view. We're going to use that one more often. And camera 4, I can't remember. Ah, yes, of course. Quincy and Monument Hill. Hello, Quincy. It's good to see it. And we're really glad to be doing Quincy High School's commencement exercises as well. We love our friends, the Jackrabbits. All right. From the National Weather Service, here we go. We're looking at sunshine for the most part today. I know you're saying, now wait a minute, the clouds are here and they weren't here an hour ago, but they still haven't changed the forecast. Mostly sunny, high of about 83 degrees, 51 for the overnight low tonight. Going to do it again on Wednesday. Lots of sunshine tomorrow, high of about 82 degrees, 52 for the overnight low Wednesday night. Thursday, one more day of nice weather, sunny and mild. I like that. So it's going to be sunny. It's going to be warm. It's not going to be hot. You can crack open the windows, air the house out a little bit. We'll top off at 81 again on Thursday, 53 for the overnight low Thursday night. Wouldn't you know it? Friday, a slow-moving weather system is going to start spreading moisture all over the Pacific Northwest, so the weekend is likely going to be considerably cooler than average. Yep, a little bit of rain. Not so much on Friday. We'll have some sunshine Friday morning when you get up, but by Friday bedtime, it'll be cloudy and still 82 degrees. Big cool down on Saturday, only 73 for the afternoon high, with a good chance of rain, about a 40% chance of rain on Saturday. We need the rain, you know that. Sunday, cooler still, only 70 degrees. It's about 7 degrees below normal, or normal high right around this time of the year is right around 77 or 78. So we're going to cool down quite a bit over the weekend. Going to cloud up, going to get a little bit of rain. partly cloudy on Monday and a high of 71. So if you have outdoor plans, you got today, tomorrow, and Wednesday for the good Thursday for the good weather. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.